have to start. Okay, guys. In the previous time, we talked about temperature scale, right? I divided this topic to four main sections. First section about kinetic theory. I showed you how to use what is the kinetic theory, how to use the kinetic theory to answer the questions, or possible questions, or predicted questions that you may face in the past papers or even in the external. The second one was about temperature scale. We talked about the definition of temperature, scales that we have, thermometric properties, type of thermometers, and how to calibrate thermometers. And finally, guys, certain properties for different types of thermometers. We did also some questions, two or a couple of questions, I think 2 or 3 questions like this about thermocouple, and we stopped here on page 21. Explain why thermocouple thermometer is particularly well suited to measure high temperature. Guys, a thermocouple, if you remember, consists of the probe of the thermocouple. This one. Here we have a probe. It's a metal stuff, right? It's a metal stuff. This probe is used to, or is placed at the surface that we want to measure its temperature. This probe is metal, so it has high melting point. Since it has high melting point, it can be used to measure a very high temperature. Since the probe is a metal, it has a very high melting point. And we discussed that also, guys, in terms of mercury and alcohol. Mercury boiling point له approximately 370, from 370 to I think 500, something like this. I don't remember exact high. So I can't use it to measure temperature more than, let's say, 350. الالكحول the highest temperature or the highest possible temperature 70 degree, since it's since the alcohol boils around at 78, so I can't use it beyond 70 or حتى even 60. But for metals, you know, the melting temperature for metal is about 2000 degrees Celsius, or around between 1000 to 2000, so I can use it to measure a very high temperature. And a very rapid change in temperature, and it reacts quickly, it will not take time to react, because this probe, guys, has a small mass and heat capacity. Since it has a small mass and heat capacity, it will be heated up or cooled down very quickly. So we reached thermometer reach equilibrium, thermal equilibrium, very fast, and then we can get the temperature, or we can measure the temperature. Here, guys, I have to revise with you something. Let me. When you place the thermometer in contact with any thermometer in contact with the surface, let's say. If I place this thermometer in this surface, okay, eventually, guys, في عندنا heat transferred. There's a heat transfer. This heat transfer depends on which one has higher temperature, which one has higher temperature. This heat transfer continues until both have the same temperature. At this moment, guys, when the temperature stops uh, increasing or decreasing, at this moment we will record the temperature. Okay, we will record the temperature. This is why, guys, when you are going to a clinic, um, when the doctor or whatever يعني measures your temperature, they wait around 1 to 2 minutes in order to before recording that your temperature. And also the instrument that is used sometimes makes a buzzer, or it has a buzzer or makes a sound to show you that we reached a thermal equilibrium. What does this mean? Thermal equilibrium means that your body and the thermometer have the same temperature now. So I can record what? The temperature. So if the probe has a small mass or heat capacity, it will lose or gain this heat very fast. So they reach thermal equilibrium very fast. If it has larger mass, so it will take more time to be heated or to be cooled down according to your temperature. Accordingly, it takes what? Longer time. This process will take longer time. Part C here, a capillary of a liquid in a glass thermometer should have constant diameter. Shows the capillary of thermometer made with manufacture fault. This is the fault of that the diameter is not constant, right? The diameter is constant, is not constant. State and explain the effect of this fault on the linearity of the thermometer. Okay, the linearity of this thermometer. هلا as the diameter is linear, the length of the liquid increases or changes linearly with temperature. If the diameter is not linear, or if the diameter is not constant, sorry, I meant here constant. Should not write it linear, sorry, constant. Sorry. If the diameter is not constant, the increase in the length of the liquid does not change linearly with temperature. Okay. Um, a liquid in a glass thermometer has a linear scale and the range of 120. State what is meant by a linear scale. Linear scale, guys. A linear scale means the thermometric property, like the volume or length of the thermometer is changed equally with equal change in temperature. Or it's already defined in the previous part. There is an equal change in the thermometric property or the physical property as the temperature or equivalent to the temperature change. And if the temperature doubled, مثلا let's say the volume is doubled, the length is doubled, if it's linear, right, temperature is doubled, something like this. Like, the highest temperature of this thermometer is 120. What is the lowest? Guys, the range equals highest temperature minus what? Lowest temperature. Range 120, it's given. The highest temperature 110 minus what? Lowest. So lowest temperature would be negative 10. Okay. A second liquid in a glass thermometer has the same range, but it has greater sensitivity. State. في حدا دخل. Okay. Mira and Kenan, please, if my sound is not clear, inform me, or if there is anything is not clear.
Okay.
Okay, so you start asking your questions, guys. هلا هدول past paper questions about temperature scale. Temperature scale يعني about the thermocouples, the thermometers. We will discuss also the concept بتاعت linearity, range, sensitivity, calibration of the thermometer. هلا second liquid in a glass thermometer has the same range but has greater sensitivity. State two ways. Suggest two ways in which the second thermometer might differ from the first.
Larger bulb.
Guys, greater sensitivity, same range طبعا. Same range. Let me show you this. Let's say this is the thermometer A. This is thermometer what? B. Sensitivity, guys, means large change in physical property per unit change in temperature. Per unit change in temperature. Let me show you this. This is, let's say this is 10, 20, 30. This is 10, 20, 30. Let's say these are the thermometers. Guys, here, same range, look, same range. And this temperature or this thermometer can measure the temperature between 10, let's say, to 30. Or here, between 10 to what? To 30. In order to make larger change here, this is more sensitive. This is more sensitive. Why it's more sensitive? Because we will have larger change in the length per unit degree of temperature. يعني من 10 ل 20 it occupies larger distance than from 10 to 20 here. This is what is meant by sensitivity. So to have more sensitive one like this, لازم يكون عندنا narrower tube. So the volume of liquid will expand for the same volume of liquid. The liquid will be distributed along or among longer distance or longer length. The second one إنه راح يكون also longer one. صح? To have the same range, it should be longer tube. Here, figure 5.1 shows thermocouple set up to measure the temperature of a point on a solar panel. Temperature, solar panel, suggest a material for Y. طبعا Y, it could be iron. Z قلنا هذا sensitive voltmeter. Sensitive what? Voltmeter. The thermocouple, guys, should be consist of two junctions like this, hot and cold, two different wires, X and Y, and a sensitive voltmeter. We are given that X is a copper, so select any material or any metal, sorry, any metal to be a Y, yani copper, whatever, sorry, iron, steel, zinc, whatever. But regularly we write iron. How does, or explain how thermocouple is used to measure the temperature? First of all, guys, we have to place the prop at the surface of the solar panel. Record the voltage or EMF from the voltmeter. Then using the calibrated chart to find temperature. To find what? The temperature. Hello, what is meant by calibrated chart? Let me remind you by this, guys. Guys, this is called calibrated chart. What is meant by calibrated chart? Yani I have to construct this graph using known temperatures, right? Using what? A known temperature. And here I will place at the hot junction to form or to construct this graph. I have to place at the hot junction known temperature or objects with known temperature. At the cold junction also object with a known temperature. This is a controlled junction. يعني I can place it مثلا at melting water or melting ice, sorry. Melting ice. So here I will vary. Here I will vary the temperature of this object, but I have to, يعني, it should be known temperatures. After that, I will record the voltage for each temperature. Voltage for each temperature. Then I will construct this table. Now I have a chart which is called calibrated chart, temperature versus EMF. If I want to measure now, listen, pay attention to this. If I want to measure unknown temperature, I have مثلا like the solar panel here. I placed the hot junction or the probe at the surface of the solar panel. Then I recorded what? The voltage from the sensitive voltmeter. Then I will go back to this chart. Let's say مثلا I got the value 10, let's say millivolts. Regularly this is a millivolt. Then let's say I can find the corresponding temperature here. Let's say it might be مثلا 60 degrees Celsius or something like this. This is just rough numbers, okay? Experiment shows that the temperature of the surface depends upon the type of the surface. Describe the nature of the surface that will cause the temperature to rise most. طبعا لازم يكون black. لازم يكون ايش؟ black لأنه absorbs more. We did this question, it's a repeated one. Here, a technician is designed a liquid in a glass thermometer. The following is the list of properties of the thermometers that is considering. Which one of these properties is affected by the length of the stem of the thermometer? Basically, the range. We discussed that in the previous time, because if we increase the range, the liquid will have more space to be to expand. So it may reach higher temperature, okay, or lower ash also temperature, okay. The liquid will have, guys, please slow me down if there is something is not understood. The liquid will have okay. Which property is affected by diameter, sensitivity, right? Explain your answer for sensitivity, because now the liquid, right, will expand more for the same temperature what difference as the diameter becomes smaller. هون as the tube becomes longer, right? And if the tube becomes longer, we will have more space to expand or contract according to the temperature change. This is an important question, guys. The thermometer that is used to measure the temperature between -10 and 50 degrees Celsius, the technician consider using water or red colored alcohol. Write down which liquid be suitable. And definitely alcohol. Why? Because, guys, alcohol is sensitive, more sensitive, because it's less dense, or it has less dense. Second one, it's colored. Colored means I can what? I can detect the reading. So we can take the reading easily, right? Or much better than water, because water transparent, so it's difficult to take the reading, or we may have a mistake in this. طبعا here equal volumes of gas held at constant pressure, a liquid and solid undergo the same temperature rise. State which of the three solids, liquid and gas, expands most. Definitely gas, right? Expands less to what? Solid. Explain why the pressure of the gas must be kept constant for this comparison. Guys, because the pressure, the volume of the gas depends on the pressure as well. يعني الفوليوم of the gas, guys, depends على البريشر على التمبرتشر. يعني depends on both things. الgas is compressible, guys, right? الgas is compressible. other material, right, like solids or liquids or other states, the other states are not compressible. So their volumes, right, are independent of the pressure. State two properties of alcohol which makes it suitable for use of thermometer. حكينا انه more sensitive, right? ايش كمان عندنا property for the alcohol which is make it
الرينج
الرينج.
ولا ما بنحكي
علي
عنه؟
صوتك ميرا لأن الصوت عندي واطي. just a second. أنا الصوت عندي واطي sorry. الرينج
range
بالنيجاتيف. طيب ايش كمان هلا حكينا شغلة انه colored كمان صح؟ also كمان we may write انه just one second guys please. بس I have one thing بس ما تروحوا خليكم معي بس one minute please Okay guys, sorry for that. هلا state two properties حكينا of alcohol that which makes it suitable to use. هلا حكينا أكثر من شغلة. First of all حكينا إنه more sensitive range concept إنه it could be a colored one, so we can take the reading easily. Okay. Also does not have adhesive force with the glass, guys. This is an important one. So we cannot find the droplets that is attract or droplets على the surface of the liquid glass. State two changes to the design of this thermometer which would make it more sensitive. حكينا narrower tube. نزيد the volume of liquid. By the way, I can increase the volume of liquid so it will expand more. Narrower tube. Explain why it's advantage for this glass surrounding alcohol of the bulb of thermometer to be very thin. هلا if we form a thermometer with a very thin walls, it will react quickly, right? It will react what? Quickly, because it will take less time for the heat to reach the liquid. Less time for the heat to reach what? The liquid. Okay, guys, any question about that? And in general, if you look here to the pattern of the questions, they are the same تقريبا. We will be asked about sensitivity, range, scale, linearity, these things. Okay. Any question?
لا.
Okay. Here the same thing, wire 1, wire 2, wire 3. طبعا guys, wire 1, wire 2, wire 3 should be sorry, wire 1, wire 2 should be from the same element. Between the junction, these are the junctions. Wire 3 should be another different element. I may write copper مثلا iron. Okay, wire 1 copper, wire 2 copper also. Wire 3 should be different. Between the junctions, guys, between the junctions, this is the junction and the junction. Between the junctions, we should connect two different wires. This is the first wire. This is the second wire. Okay. Is that clear? This is the first wire. These two wires should be from the same material. This is the second wire, should be from a different material. Any question? Okay. هلا state what type of meter is being used. حكينا هذا ايش sensitive ammeter, sensitive voltmeter. State 1 particular advantage of the thermocouple for measuring temperature. قلنا quickly respond, measuring higher temperature, quick to respond, measure very high temperature, very low as well. يعني عنده ايش highest range or higher range. Also it can be linked, since it works يعني أو it's an electrical stuff, it can be linked to ايش to computers or electrical, right, or electrical what appliances لأنه change in current يعني or change in voltage, فهذا it can be linked to these things. Okay. This is very important question. Okay, we will answer it next time. Inshallah, we start with expansion. Okay, the third section of the concept. وبعدين نروح على heating gases. Finally, measuring for specific heat, specific heat capacity. Okay. Okay. Now read this question for a moment in order to see what is the question or how we will answer the question. Okay. Hello, when the flask is placed in hot water, the water level initially falls. This is something may confuse us. Little below than X and then rises some way above X. The main point, guys, إنه
Hi guys.
أهلين بدري. هلا صحيتي شكلك.
راح تاني الحصة الصراحة.
طيب. هلا suggest why the water level initially falls, guys, because here the glass is heated first, right? Right, the glass is heated first, so it expands. So if it expands, the liquid level falls. Is that clear? يعني أول شيء الglass is heated, so I will observe a slight fall in the water level. هلا the water level then rises. هلا when the heat reaches the water, it will expand as well, but the expansion of liquid is more than the expansion of solid. Okay, guys. Explain why the rise is greater than the fall, because the expansion of liquid is more than the solid. Okay. Suggest a change to the apparatus that would make the fall and rise of the water level greater, increasing temperature. Right? صح? Suggest a change to the apparatus that would make the fall, or we may use a smaller, or let's say the best thing لا هو بده نفس الاباراتس مش الاكسبيرمنت sorry بده الاباراتس itself مش الاكسبيرمنت. I may make this one is narrower صح. If I if I make the tube is narrower or the glass flask is narrower, the water level or the sensitivity will increase, making the tube
ما بنقدر
narrow.
نحكي إنه بكلاسي كونتينر.
قصدك يعني نخليه smaller قصدك ولا greater؟
لا thinner إنه smaller.
yes, narrower or thinner. Yeah. الجلاس فلاسك قصدك ولا التيوب؟
لا الجلاس فلاسك عشان الهيت بسرعة يوصل.
بصير يس طبعا. بس هون ما سألك عن لا سوري wait هو ما سألني انه if it quick to respond ولا لا. ما قال لي والله suggest a change to apparatus that would make the fall and rise of water level very quick او quicker than the previous او quicker. فهمتي شو قصدي؟ اوكي زينة. هو بيسألني انه اشي greater، يعني هون بيسألني عن sensitivity مش عن we are not asked about responsiveness. اوكي لو قال لي quicker بقول yes that's it. Okay guys. طيب next time ان شاء الله we will we talk about expansion. تمام. وبعد الاكسبانشن راح يكون عندنا شيء اسمه heating gases. راح نحكي عن heating gases. we have to link the heating gases to kinetic theory. هذا الفورث بارت من السيلبس. تمام. هذا كله about heating gases. راح نحل past paper questions على موضوع heating gases. وطبعا it's linked ل kinetic theory. وفاينلي راح نشوف الهيت ترانسفير، الways of heating transfer. سوري هذا الفيفث section. sixth section راح يكون about specific heat capacity و specific latent heat. Okay. Have a nice day guys.
شكرا أستاذ.
Please guys try to watch the videos of anything or if you miss anything بس يعني please watch the videos especially تاع paper 6. ضروري تشوفوا فيديوز تبعون paper 6. اوكي
اوكي ماشي.
نغير
شكرا.
على